Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today for a reading. It's from several decks. It's a pick-a-pile reading. It's about what your future self would tell you today. So we are going to tap into that higher self that is timeless, and we are going to ask that higher self lead us today. Your future self. What would your future self like to tell you today? So choose the pile that draws you, the stone that sort of pulls at your intuition, and we'll begin. We'll do a golden nugget card at the end for further clarification in case you have more questions. Okay. Now, for those of you who chose this lovely green stone, we have, from the Arcanum deck, we have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Wands. From this little mini Rider-Waite deck, we have the King of Cups and the Judgment card, the Judgment Angel. All right, interesting. And from the Light Seers Tarot, we have the Four of Wands and the Strength card. Interesting. All right. Well, you have two major arcana. Those are clarity and good judgment and strength. Those are two good major arcana to have, for sure. Absolutely. As I look at this, I see your future self telling you, I think that you're on the right track. You are making good decisions right now at this time in your life. You're making the right decisions. You're seeing things clearly. There may be two paths that you're considering, or two main priorities that you hope to make progress in. That's the Two of Wands. Like, I hope to make progress in those, or I hope to explore those. This is the World Explorer. Perhaps this even involves travel with that Two of Wands, or commerce, but travel perhaps. Whatever decision you make here, Source, your higher self is really saying you have good judgment. You're very clear about it. In fact, it may be that you are making a decision, and it is correct. You have protection over you right now, so please do not fret and don't worry about something unexpected coming at you that would be a threat to you. The Strength card is definitely saying no. There's nothing major coming. Do not worry about that. In fact, it's better to look on the future right now with a sense of adventure, a sense of where do I want to go, capability, enthusiasm with the Wands, fire. What interests you right now? What draws you? See, these things are important. Sometimes the decisions we make, we can make them based upon fearfulness. And I feel like your future self is very clearly saying, do not make decisions based on fearfulness right now. But there might be some temperance in the decisions that you make, because you do have good judgment here and clarity. I mean, it may not be that you're reckless either, but do not be fearful. Instead, think about, like, what do I want my life to be like in the future? What gives me enthusiasm? What would I just love to do? And think about that. There may be some things to explore that are coming up that you're moving toward. In fact, there are. There could even be a move here with this Four of Wands. There could be, for some of you, there's a move across the sea. Yeah, because we have the King of Cups here too. In which case, you would do that beautifully. In which case, you would ride out any waves, and you would handle that maturely and with good intuition, and you would do that beautifully. It would be a celebration. Yes. This can also be some other kind of celebration, like a wedding, any kind of family celebration, graduation, baptism, family, family celebration of some type, move, housewarming. So this Four of Wands is a lovely energy. I feel like that's saying your home life is improving. Your home life will be improving, whether that's because you're actually physically improving your environment, or whether that's more about an emotional tenor between you and the people who are closest to you. That is improving. That's what I'm seeing here. Ace of Cups, there's an acknowledgement here that perhaps it's been emotional. It's been an emotional time, right? And you just sort of ride out the turbulence. Maybe you need some comfort or some soothing, some encouragement. Please ask Source. Ask Source for all of that. Do not be afraid to ask for that to be soothed. I feel like there's a message here like, don't look at things through the lens of your emotion. You know, maybe it's really understandable considering some things that have been very challenging. But this is the encouragement to look at it through clarity and good judgment, through your spiritual awareness. See, there's an angel here. Through your mind's eye, through your spiritual lens. Look at your life that way. Because there's no reason to fear the future here. This is all, because you've got this divine strength and protection here. You've got this strength. You've got this maturity. And no, they want you instead, your future self instead wishes you to look to the future and ask yourself, what do I get enthusiastic about? Where is their fire? Where's their vitality? Where is their life-giving, yes, let's do this. If anything in your present weighs you down and you may feel like you need a change, this is saying that will turn out well. That's what I have, pile number 1. Oh, those are beautiful cards. Just gorgeous. Very nice. All right. So pile number 2. Those of you who chose this red and white stone, I think that's red jasper, grounding stone. For the Light Seers Tarot, we have the Hierophant, but it is reversed. What's the other? And we have the Lover's card upright. Oh, interesting. In this mini Rider-Waite, we have the Hermit. You've got all these major arcana, pile number 2. Oh my goodness. And we have the Four of Wands. Oh, isn't that interesting? It just came up for pile number 1. For the Arcanum deck, we have the Ace of Cups, the Page of Cups. And we have the King of Coins. Okay. Oh, so interesting. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So all I can say is wow. So, goodness, your future self would like you to know. I just see so many like diametrically opposed influences on you in your current moment. You know, there's this sort of pull to isolate yourself a bit, withdraw, really get connected to what is right spiritually for you. And really be more self-reliant right now. Not to say you are alone, but the Hermit is quite self-reliant because the Hermit goes by the light of spiritual, like he's not even looking ahead, right? He's sort of, you get the sense that even as he stands there, he looks within. He transcends his circumstances and finds that he can be at peace and he can have even joy and internal resourcefulness regardless of the circumstances. Regardless of the circumstances. So there's that, maybe you may be in a moment where that is very fruitful. Meditation or just connecting within, connecting to your higher self, connecting to source is very fruitful. It might only give you guidance about the next step, but see that hermit, he only has this dim lamp because he doesn't really feel the need to know the ending. He's not like the Two of Wands world explorer. He's saying, you know what? My comfort, my peace is here in this moment, regardless of what's going on. I cannot live in the future. I cannot live in the past. I can only live in this moment. And you know what? I can be at peace. I can have enjoyment in this moment. So there's that powerful energy around you right now. But then we have this Lover's card too. I almost wonder if there's a relationship that is passionate, or if there's a desire for a very passionate relationship. I have to say, I feel a bit of a sense of impetuousness here, a sense of almost impulsivity. Not to say that that's bad, but these two juxtaposed, it just feels to me like your path is within. It feels to me like your path is within first, and then you're in a good place to make good decisions, see a love relationship clearly, or the potential for a love relationship clearly, to see it clearly. It's almost like the reason I get a sense of impetuousness here is the Hierophant is reversed here. Sort of like, the Hierophant is by taking the conventional steps to get to where you're going. It's about using human organizations, customs, to find your path to the greater good for yourself, for others, for everybody. It's like doing things in the way that most people would consider right or proper to bring the greater good. It's like that. And so the Hierophant can come up when we do want to get consultation from a profession like the medical profession, or from a legal profession, or there's some paperwork to do that is involving properly doing a transaction or something like that. Job contract. But it's reversed here. I almost wonder if for some of you, a love relationship or the desire for a love relationship is so heady right now that it, can become a sense of, this will solve all my problems. It can become a sense of, this is what I need more than anything. Sometimes people make big decisions for a love relationship, or sometimes they devote a lot of their internal energy to the pursuit of that, or to thinking about that, to desiring that. And sometimes they later regret that. Sometimes they later think, well, but there's no roadmap, right, to the Hermit. Or there is guidance, there is love, there is care, there is so much love and so much peace and so much fulfillment. But it's mysterious. How do we get there? There's not a human being here in the flesh to help us figure that out. But there is endless guidance on the other side if we request it. Endless help. There is a structure, the Hierophant. You can join a meditation class. You can take a course. You can develop a practice with maybe an online program. You can try a number of different things. I mean, some people find organized religion to be helpful to them personally for increasing their spirituality, just taking that time every week. Everybody has different ideas, but the Hierophant and a daily or at least weekly kind of discipline in connecting spiritually can be quite helpful. Of course, you're listening to this reading, so you may be already just seeking out tools to help you connect to source energy, to your higher self, to your intuition. It's okay to do that in a predictable way that helps you. But, it'd be something you would want to choose it, right? The Hierophant reversed can also suggest that the burden of feeling hemmed in, the burden of feeling like I have to do things a certain way, see, it's reversed. You don't want that. So really, even when we choose to use the Hierophant, some kind of human structure or custom or pattern or path, staircase, right? We would want to do what we are really led to do. And we would want to give ourselves the freedom to change our minds. So the Hierophant can be a blessing, getting us to where we want to be, or it can be oppressive sometimes if we're letting expectations, societal expectations, take away our ability to choose and to grow, So there's that too. And being that it's by the Lover's card, for some of you, this could even be a love relationship that has now become, it feels oppressive. I mean, you got involved, you made a commitment, but now it feels like it is not for your higher good. It's not going to get you where you want to go. So maybe for some of you, this reading is saying you need to spend time within to get clarity. And there may be a move for some of you. This can be a wedding, though, too. If there is a love relationship, this reading does not necessarily say that it's a negative thing for you. For some of you, yes. But this reading can also be read that it's a positive thing for you, but you definitely need to go within to come to that conclusion, right? We do have to find a way to nurture ourselves spiritually. We do have to increase that skill, increase that practice, especially when we're in a relationship. Because a relationship can't do all of that for us. And that sometimes will tax a relationship. So there's a lot here, and I hope that you're hearing with your intuition to pick the interpretation that works for you. Now, the Page of Cups, and of course, this can be, this Hierophant reverse can represent something that is unique to your situation too, that I wouldn't see, like maybe a job no longer serves you or something like that, But please use your intuition as you look. The Page of Cups is some nice energy. It's sort of following your heart, following your desires, maybe having some carefree energy. But then we have this King of Coins too, which is sort of responsible, solid, stable. It's almost like a reassurance. Like whatever changes are happening, whether they're spiritually or in your relationships or in a move or in a let's change, let's escape from one sort of set of expectations or role or profession, or let's be done with that. It's not serving me anymore. Let's turn this upright into something that is serving me. Whatever that is, this is a reassurance that you are good at creating stability in your life, and you will be able to do that regardless. So really, I think your future self is also telling you, please do not fear. Don't be fearful. It would serve you well to increase your spiritual practice at this point in your life. But regardless, you are having stability. It would also serve you well to be led, to listen to your heart, to be led by not what your mind is thinking, but what your heart is really feeling. What makes you feel good, what makes you feel oppressed perhaps with this, what makes you feel trapped, what makes you feel delighted and hopeful. Notice those things, but then that goes very well with the Hermit. So this is an interesting reading, pile number 2. I sure hope you heard in there what your future self wanted you to hear. Okay. Pile number 3 chose the rose quartz. It's all about affection, all about love. And we have, from the Arcanum deck, we have the 9 of Wands. And we have the Knight of Wands. From the mini Rider-Waite, we have the 4 of Coins and the 6 of Swords. And from the Light Seers Tarot, we have the 2 of Swords. Interesting. And the 6 of Cups. Okay, so here we see no major arcana, pile number 3. So this may be a time when, right now, this time, it really is not anything to get too worked up over, is what I'm really seeing. Yeah, I feel like you may be worrying too much, especially with this 9 of Wands, and maybe that's past difficulties and battles that affect your guardedness now, that make you think, oh, goodness, maybe I need to be worried about this, or maybe I need to be watchful about that. I'm seeing in this, no. I'm really kind of seeing in this, no, you don't need to worry. The 6 of Swords could also be why you may have a tendency to think, oh boy, maybe you've had a lot going on and you've had a lot of things that you've been learning. It's been some heavy duty kind of learning time for you in recent years even. And you're coming out of turbulent water though, and you are taking those lessons with you. I feel like in this reading you don't feel very secure, although you do have some really good security. So the 4 of Coins is, I do have security. I do have security, money, health, what have you, but I don't feel like it's very secure. So I'm hanging on to it really tightly. And I mean, whatever's gone on in the past and even the far past may affect your sense of how much security you have. This is really kind of saying to me, let's see this more clearly. And the blindfold needs to come off with the 2 of Swords. You have a lot more security. You've built a lot more than you think. Whatever goal this is, you have made progress. Sure, you're not there yet, but you are making progress. You're on your way. This is really, to me, saying, change your way of looking at this, please. But there's a whole lot of compassion and love and understanding for why you would have trouble feeling that you have security. There's a whole lot of understanding, because this could even be trauma history. I mean, this can be, man, things have been tough and it's just kind of weighed me down. But I've learned this and I've learned that and I've learned the other thing, and hopefully we're getting into calmer waters and moving all of these lessons to the more hospitable shore where we can build something new with new plans that are based on great knowledge and experience. Yes, and you may have some indecision about which way you're actually going. That is okay. I really think that there's a lot of reassurance here that you're moving into better times. And in fact, you have more security than you think you do. You're in better shape than you think you are. Financially, maybe with your health, you're in better shape than you think you are. It's so easy to lose sight of that. It's so easy. We worry, and especially all the Swords here tells me that you are a planner. You like to plan. You like analysis. You like to know what's going to happen. And so sometimes when we do that, we get a little too focused on problems. Like, I have to solve this problem. I have to solve that problem. I have to figure out this. I have to figure out that. No. No, 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 no. This is clearly saying, hey, you have got a lot figured out already. Let's change your lens. Let's change the way you're looking at this. Sometimes we're so focused on the next point, the next step in the plan, the next leg of our journey toward our primary purpose, that we fail to see that things are quite good now. We've really accomplished a lot now. And, planners can really do this. And like I said, if there's been things you've gone through that have been difficult, it's natural. But I feel like your future self is saying, please understand, you are doing well. Guess what? You have done well. This is the Six of Cups. That's sort of that card of contentment, that card of having built up a good solid relationships perhaps, or a skill at interacting with others in a way that is mutually emotionally rewarding, sources of fulfillment you've built up. It's also the nostalgia card, so it's sort of like, please look back and see how far you've come, see how well you've done. The thing that you've fretted about 10 years ago is no longer an issue because you overcame it. The thing you fretted about 20 years ago is no longer an issue because look at where you are now. It's that kind of, let's look at where you are and be glad, be proud of yourself, I think. Be proud of yourself. And so you can relax a little more and please, know that there are good things ahead. I feel like you've already slayed some dragons. I just feel like it's been a time where you feel like you had to slay this dragon and slay that dragon. And that starts to feel like it goes on forever. But you know what? It doesn't. A lot of these dragons have been slain and they are not coming back. You're moving into a good place here. That's what I see. Awesome. Wonderful. I hope that's helpful, pile number 3. Okay, for those of you who would like a little further clarification from the Golden Nugget card, we have the Ace of Swords. So that is a tremendous, that is telling you really, if you felt like you've heard, because now the sword can be a message, it can be an epiphany, a revelation, a truth that is brought to you by source. So we're asking for insight from your future self. Your future self is clearly saying here, yes, I have been giving it, you have been hearing. So that's a reassurance. If there was something that you were sure about, usually when you listen to these things, there's something that you're really sure about, or feeling fairly sure about. This is saying, yes, be sure about that. I mean, there might be parts of the interpretation that you're not as sure about, but there's something you got from this interpretation that you can put in the bank. Yes. So I hope that is helpful to you. I thank you all so very much. Have a wonderful day.